check it out, level 30, managed to not die. Let's get some enchantment going. I'm not sure what's the best thing to enchant in Feed the Beast, because swords are rendered pretty pointless thanks to the nano saber. I think I'm going to go with... I've got crazy world anchor things going on here. Can't get rid of them. I'm going to go for a diamond pick because I might get something good. Let's have a look. Silk touch. Excellent. That could possibly be handy. I don't know. So, today's plan is going to involve a lot of digging, although I'm not going to do very much of it by hand. And it's time to move over to the new world. Here we are then, back at the huge mountain where we are going to call home. I'm thinking of putting my entrance down here. I've just begun the very first bit of digging. I'm kind of going to make an archway of some kind here. I've got some of this red rock brick, which you can get by smelting up the red cobblestone to get red rock, and then you can turn it into bricks using that sort of a recipe. I think that might make a nice surround for the entrance. Don't know, going to have a mess around with things, see what we can make look nice, and probably flatten out the ground a bit there just to make it slightly more appealing as an entrance. And then what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to put power generation in the form of solar panels right up here on the top of the mountain, and I'm going to get some glass fiber cable running down the center to bring power down to my huge living space. And I'm going to build a big open space inside this mountain. I don't know if the mountain is really big enough for the bigness that I actually want to go for, so I'm going to try and dig basically down a bit. I'm going to probably put ceiling level about here somewhere. Entrance is here. There's going to be a staircase leading down about 10 blocks maybe, and then a big open room. And I have a friend with me who is going to help me to dig a big open room, but we'll come to that in a little bit. To begin with, I am just going to continue working on the entranceway, get a little way in, and we'll see how it all looks. Right, okay, I've been doing a bit of work. The area here has been flattened a bit, just done some gentle terraforming around here to smooth things off a bit, and I've made this sort of red brick archway. I don't know if I like the look yet, I'm not sure, but this is just a rough beginning anyway, and I've kind of tried to smooth it on the inside with the stone stairs and slabs and things. Got a bit of a pattern going on the stairs as well. Now the stairs are going to carry on, but at this point here I want it to open out into a big room, and the stairs will carry on bringing you down deeper into the room, but this is where we need to get into some serious digging. And I have worked out that I want this room to be approximately 48 wide in this direction, with 28 blocks in that direction and 24 blocks high, and the top of it is going to be at y equals 80, which is a few blocks up. It's about 13 blocks up from where we are. This is all very rough calculations, and I'll probably see it and be unhappy with it and make it bigger or whatever, or make it smaller. But this is just a sort of initial attempt, and I want to do the digging the lazy way. So around here I have my little friend, who I have now named. Here he is, waiting to go. You can name a turtle with this label command. You do label get. You see that the name of this turtle is called Mineturtle. I hope you get the reference. He is going to dig everything out with a program that I've written called Dig Room. And basically this is just going to ask the questions of how big we want the room and blah blah blah. I'll put the code for this program up as a link in the description, although I don't think it's the most efficient way to dig a three-dimensional space. There are probably many better scripts out there for it, but I wanted the challenge of doing it myself, and this one does work. I have seen it in action, and we've done a small room with it and it worked fine. The problem is that for this one, let me just bring up my calculator here. I worked out that it has to dig, I've lost the calculation, but it was about 36,000 blocks to do 48 by 28 by 24 room, and actually to do that it needs to move a little bit more than 38,000, because although it digs a fairly efficient way, it'll dig forward and back and forward and back, and it will also do 2 layers at a time, because it will dig in front of itself and also below itself. it still has to move quite a lot. I would guess it has to move about 38,000 blocks actually, because I suppose if it's doing 2 layers at a time, the amount of movements it has to make is half the number of blocks it has to build, it has to dig rather, then add on a little bit extra to get back to the corner of the room on each iteration. So yeah, I just don't know. I'm not sure how much fuel to give it. You see, that's what I'm thinking. I brought lava cells, the ones that I got from that lava pool a few episodes ago, and I know that they can power the turtle for 1,000 blocks each. I've got 40, and I don't want the turtle to run out in mid-program, because if that happens, I think we'll just have to go right back to the start. I haven't written anything into the program to refuel it, you see. I was lazy and I didn't do that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a gamble here, and I'm going to take 10 off. I'm going to hope that 30,000 movements is more than enough, possibly a little bit wasteful of my lava, but it was fairly cheap to gather. It wasn't too much effort, and I could easily get more by setting up a pumping station in the nether or something like that. So I'm not too concerned about wasting lava cells. I'm going to refuel the turtle from, oh, he has to have, okay, refuel 29. He already had some fuel in him. That's interesting. Unless that was, oh, that's weird. It's going up by 1,200 with each of those, and it obviously already had some fuel, so maybe the fuel isn't lost once you've labelled a turtle. The main reason for labelling a turtle is that it doesn't lose its memory when you break it and then place it somewhere else, and maybe it also keeps its fuel. So let's refuel it with another 20 then of those. So refuel 20, and that gets it up to nearly 30,000, which I think should probably be enough actually. And then we're going to dig room. How wide do you want the room? So this is the number of blocks to the right of the turtle. So the way I've written this is you need to start at the top corner. It's going to dig forward and right and then back and right, and it's going to dig a room that is wide in that direction, the length is that direction, and this is the top corner, so it'll dig down from here. So this is at the highest point we want it to be at, and we are at 79 for the turtle there, so that should work out correct. So we want to go 28 blocks to the right, please, Mineturtle. Hello! And 48 blocks ahead, and the depth we want to go down 24. And I believe he'll just go. I really hope I've done this right. Now, I've also set up world anchors up there, because world anchor height doesn't matter. I believe it loads the entire vertical chunk. So I set up a world anchor really, really high up to cover this whole area and make sure that it stays loaded if I go away. And oh, there's a cave system here too. Shouldn't concern it too much. A little bit dark for you on here. I'm not going to place any torches though, because I don't want to block its path, because it won't be expecting any blocks to be there on its return journey, so I'm just going to be careful. Suppose I could temporarily place one while we follow it along. So when it's dug 48 blocks in front of itself, which we must be getting pretty close to, we should see it turn round. There we go. And dig back in the other direction. And it will carry on doing that 28 times on this level, and then it will go down and do the other 22 levels down below, 2 at a time of course. So we'll leave him to it, and I will take the risk that the world anchors are placed correctly, because it's a little bit tricky to get them right, but I think so. And hopefully when we come back here later, we will find the turtle back here at the corner of a very, very large dugout room. At least that's what I'm hoping. Nerve-wracking it really is, but we'll leave it to it. And hopefully as well the room is lined up just right so that we will have an entrance to it here that comes out bang in the centre. That is the plan, but we'll see what happens. So that's the beginnings of the new base. We will leave the turtle going, and we'll come back to it in a few hours' time, I think. While we're waiting for the turtle to finish, I wanted to share with you my latest thing that I have crafted. Ooh, look at that. That is an MFSU, and if you want to see the recipe, because it was quite an expensive item, I need an MFE. I already had one of those from my quarry setup that I reused. Advanced circuits, advanced machine blocks, I can craft those by now. I've got a bit of a stock of these carbon plates and things, and the advanced circuit is pretty easy to make. And then these 6 Lapotron crystals, which I love the name of, which is basically an energy crystal and a bunch of lapis and some electronic circuits. And the energy crystal is made with a diamond or a ruby surrounded by redstone. So in reality, not all that bad to make the MFSU. I've also made a couple more of these Lapotron crystals as well, and then I've left the MFSU plugged in, charging from my MFE here. I just wired it in like that to the gold cable. Not connected to anything at the moment, because none of this stuff is equipped to cope with that sort of power level. I guess I could put a new transformer in and step it down a different way, but this is mostly just experimental. But it has been left going overnight. I do have a world anchor in this base tucked away down there, so this area stays loaded and charged up to 10 million EUs. 10 million, which is a lot of power. I've also got 2, I don't know where the other one is, yeah, over there, 2 of these Lapotron crystals as well, so I've charged both of those. They hold 1 million EUs each as well, which is very nice. So I'm going to take those across to the new base when I eventually move, plug them into the MFSU, and have a starting kind of power supply before I've managed to build any more up. I've got a bunch of advanced solar panels as well, of course, that I'll be able to set up at the new base too. And I've also crafted some of this glass fiber cable, which is a diamond-based product. Costs 1 diamond for every 4 if you use redstone, or every 6 if you add silver instead. So I've crafted a couple of stacks of that. That is very, very low current loss. So when you've got the plan I'm intending to have, which is to have the power generation up on the top of the mountain and then a journey down into the mountain, we need to have the sort of cable that loses minimal power. And it's depleted my diamond stocks a little, but I still have a stack and a half nearly, so we're not doing too badly for diamonds. And for ores in general, I'm up to 6 iridium as well, and more things I'm looking at now require iridium in large quantities. There's some really interesting things you can get, but I'm just not quite there yet, and I want to spend a bit more time building up a proper sort of setup on the tier 2 industrial craft stuff before I start going crazy and moving up a tier to super advanced things. And of course there's so many other mods that I have still to explore. But anyway, enough about that. Oh, and I will also mention, by the way, that in the process of messing about with this MFSU, I made a whole load of upgrades to a macerator, because you can put upgrades in these things, overclockers and energy storage upgrades and transformer upgrades, to give the macerator the capability to accept a higher power rating and store more energy and run faster. And I did all that, and I had placed a macerator over here and connected it up to the gold cable coming out of the MFE. But unfortunately I derped a bit when I was moving the transformer upgrades in and out, and ended up removing it but still leaving it connected to the power, and the thing blew up, which is why there is now another hole in my wall of industry. I lost the rotary macerator that I had there due to the current bug with Feed the Beast beta pack, which makes rotary macerators crash the server, so that's gone, and now I've lost a macerator too, so holes are appearing everywhere. It's ridiculous. Anyway, not to matter. Let's go back over and see how the Mineturtle is doing. Okay, we are back. The mountain looks like it's still here, so that's good. The turtle hasn't gone crazy and removed it all. Let's go and have a look and see whether we can see his little face sitting back at his starting point. If he's back there, then that is really good news. He is! He's back! He's done the job. That's awesome. Wow. Just dig our way in. That is a mob-filled room. That is huge. That may be slightly bigger than I had intended. Then again, I mean, this is an amazing space, and it has pretty much stayed contained inside the mountain. I'm poking out at one corner here by the looks of it, and we've broken through into a few cave systems, but we're going to have to clear this place out, and it's lined up perfectly with my staircase, so that's great too. I can continue the staircase down into the room. These people are taking a bit of an interest in me, but I'll let them fight it out amongst themselves. That is amazing. Wow. If I had movable arms, I would pat you. I shall just poke you. There we go. That's a room 28 by 48 by 24. Looks so much bigger than I had imagined. I don't know why. But never mind. That's really good. That's going to work great. So, thank you. Oh, Mineturtle. I forgot. You contained a lot of items. And I've dropped you on the floor in among all the mobs. So, let's go down and fight for you. Just one skelly here. That's fine. We can cope with that. Hopefully I've got everything that matters. Yay. Excellent. I didn't really worry too much about the fact that he was going to be dropping a lot of resources because, you know, quarries are so cheap. I was slightly concerned that it was a bit wasteful. I came back here a couple of times in the short first few minutes and cleared out the cobblestone and stuff that he had picked up, but there wasn't enough of it to really worry about. And quarries are cheap, you know. If I wanted to mine out a huge area and get all the resources, I would just make a quarry. Brilliant. Great. I'm going to set to work continuing the staircase and figuring out how I'm going to light this room, and I might line the walls with something so it's... yeah, if I'm going to line the walls, I really do need a turtle to do that for me as well, don't I? Because that is a huge job otherwise. So I might consider exactly what I'm going to put on the walls, figure out how I'm going to line them, and give it all a bit of thought. And I will speak to you in a little bit. Right, I have filled in all the holes in the walls, as you can see off camera. I've smoothed everything off. I've also done quite a bit of caving. I've been just not gathering resources or anything, but just lighting up. And basically I went through about 5 stacks of torches. There's a lot of cave systems that go down underneath this place, a real labyrinth of caves, and I've been round a lot of them. You'll see that my current level is back down to level 1 because I have died. In fact, I have died about 6 times. Every single time was to a creeper. Those things! Oh, they freak me out. Also, it's daytime as I'm recording this, and the room I record these videos in, I don't have any curtains, and the sun shines on the screen and makes it really hard to see. So you're exploring in caves and you're putting down extra torches to try and keep the light level up, and the sun is blazing on the screen. Suddenly it just comes out from behind a cloud and you can't see a thing, and then you hear that noise, that kss, and you know there is a creeper around. Or more often than not, the first noise you actually hear is them exploding. Anyway, that's done. I'm going to get the turtle now and do a bit of programming, and we are going to make a floor. And I have decided I'm actually going to do the floor level up here. So this is going to be where I'm going to lay down a floor. I'm just going to use, I think, normal stone bricks to begin with, although I may put some sort of a pattern in it as time goes by. But I'm going to give the turtle enough stone bricks to fill the entire room. I'm going to write a program and it is going to lay down a floor for me, and then I'll come back and add the pattern myself later on. But the reason for doing it up here is so that I can have wiring and piping and things underneath. In fact, I might even go up 3. Yeah, I probably will just go up 3. I'll make sure there is no blocks or torches in its way, and then we'll set it going and see how it does. Right, welcome to my Feed the Beast creative world. I have made a program for this turtle, which basically is placing blocks out of its inventory. It will go through that stack until it runs out, and then hopefully move on to the next one. It's automatically self-refueling, and basically it turns around whenever it hits a wall going in the opposite direction each time. So nice and simple, but should be sufficient for laying any kind of a floor. And it's correctly found the next stack. Let me just empty it out and make sure that it ends cleanly when it runs out. You see, it just keeps going if there's no block to stop it. There we go, and it says out of blocks. And it refuels itself as well, so this is a slightly cleaner script than some of my previous ones. Once again, the link is going in the description, but let's go now and try it out on Mineturtle. I won't bother with any fuel because he's already got quite a good fuel level in him. I also just calculated I'm going to need 21 stacks of stone bricks, so I'm having to do a lot of smelting before this will start working, so I only currently have 4.5 stacks, but never mind. Let's set him to work. Ah, lovely to have a slave. So he is going to start laying the floor. Once again, the world anchor is still in place from before. I've just noticed there are some holes in the ceiling up there I missed. I need to go and sort those out because I don't want any nasties suddenly falling out of here. I could easily imagine a creeper mine. It would probably die from the length of that fall. He works fast as well. He's a good turtle. Good Mineturtle. Right, I'll leave him to it and we'll come back later and see how he's doing. Oh, he's a trooper. He did the job. He did the job beautifully. Whole floor is done. Bit of stone left over in him. Check his fuel level now. He seems to be keeping his fuel, so that's really good. It doesn't get lost when you move him. He's still got 10,000, so we won't be needing to refuel him for a long time. I will grab him back. Good turtle. I've patched up the ceiling a little bit. There's still 1 or 2 holes I need to fill in. Lit up the floor as best I could as he was going on with it. There's a few more torches probably needed over here. Still getting quite a few mobs spawning in the area outside as well. I've been freaked out by a creeper on 2 separate occasions, so I'm going to do a bit of lighting up out there as well. And then we need to start deciding how to use this space. Please make some suggestions, because I am overwhelmed by the size of this room. It's bigger than I had planned it to be, so I need to get power down from above somehow. I wonder if I should maybe just have power coming down the centre here and then build stuff in the middle of the room, or should I divide it into several smaller rooms? I just can't decide. I can't work it out. I've also got a nice little basement area, of course. This pick's run out of fuel, made by the floor being put in there, and yeah, I think I can use this for wiring and pipes and things. I might even dig this down a little bit deeper too. I don't know. We'll think about it. Lots to think about, but I'm going to end it there for today. Ah, it's daytime for once. I always come out here and it's dark. Nice to see the place in daylight. Thank you very much for watching once again. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and I'll be back very soon with more.